So people want to know what or who is in control of it all. And people will ask you this very question. Is it the banks that are in control of it all? The government? Deep state? The shadow government? Who's in control of all of this that causes for the dissidents to have to rise up? And it's religion. It's still religion. It's controlled religion. The priestess class. Those who understand my work will understand this. The force of religion still run the institutions of the world today. Just as they've taken an overt and a covert closed down role, they've gone from overt into the covert, and now they've gone from the covert into overt, so they're putting it out in the open. They've gone into the underground realm of things to work in occultism, and the occult member secret levels of these societies operate in that of the priestess class. Religion, the father, the thought control, perpetuate ignorance based upon its belief, not fact, or in the search of truth. Rather, it's controlled by a dark secret or occultist priest class. It is the essence of all mind control, and it is the basis of the New World Order. Or what's better to be known is that it's not new at all, and instead it's the old World Order, just follows the same agenda with a new name, calling it the New World Order, but it's just the same thing that perpetuates the same lies and ignorance, that false religion anyways, because there are some religious beliefs that still hold true to the Word of God to this very day, but religion, these structures of religion, are based on blind belief and does not search for truth in any form, in that fashion, or from the actual truth that it is derived from, in the actual laws, which are the laws of nature and natural law. The things that hold back the actual truth and law, natural law from humanity, is the things that control us, which stems from religion and this belief blindly, money and government altogether. Money is also a form of religion that controls the world. It's the second most powerful religion on earth today. Money controls everything besides actual religion itself in that hardened form. It's thought process that what people call belief today. Religion, or false religion, false doctrine, is a hardened belief system in the mind instead of the search for understanding and truth. So, the organized religion is based on the order of the old ways of the world to the slave system to enhance their old world order, or their so-called order. So the institution of money and religion both end up playing hand in hand. Operation. Money itself, the mother, the feminine figure of the works of this order, is to control emotion, to perpetuate apathy, the new god in which human beings are now entirely to devote their care, attention, energy, and everything into. It is the ultimate divide, the religion of money, and so it is used for the basis of this new world order, again, the old order. And what do we get? Nothing but disorder. Emotional control through money happens, though we care about, just as an example of how people emotionally and continuously focus on money, because almost all day, every day, people are inwardly or emotionally thinking about money. This is the most behavioral force that the world has, is money, and what people are going to get out of their actions is money. It doesn't matter what the currency people use, no matter which way people want to look at it, money is still religion. The factor of money that makes people focus on what they are doing, how they are going to do it, or how they are going to go about feeling what they do is good or wrong or right, instead of focusing on that which is just wrong or right, instead of doing that which is simply just the thing that you're supposed to do for that money. instead of it being that way, we fall very short on the accuracy of truth and morality here, when the institution of money constituted for the religious binding to it, and that binding to it also constitutes for actions that are unconscionable to truth and morality. This also creates an apathy for truth, because if there is no money in it, or the behavior or action of what they do, or why they do it is right, then they would be more inclined to doing the right thing instead of just being told, taking on orders to behave in action that isn't right. They use money to create human beings to care about it, the thing itself, to get people from point A to point B, and people end up caring more about the money than they do about the family, the community, the church, etc. Their own people, just to go out to the world to do the right thing. Then they ultimately use it as a form of religion, and it's the basis for the New World Order. The old order put into perspective, it's the same order that was the old order on that, which is to be set up for more chaos and death. Death to the family, death to your rights, death to just about everything that is of you, your heart, and just an empty confusion that adds to the chaos it creates. These two institutions of religion and money actually work hand in hand to actually create that death. This is what the allegorical story of Jesus was in the New Testament was about the unholy trinity of religion, money, and government. Jesus went after the priest class, the Pharisees, the Sadducees, as well as we will explain about here as well. And then he also went into money changers, which is the fiat bankers of today, the people that finally the Roman government had him crucified at the behest of the Father and Mother of the Holy Trinity, money and religion. So next we have government, which is the bodily control system because of how it works through the physical means to get what it wants. They get away with this through the order-following sectors of government. People chasing the dollar, just being able to do and perpetuate whatever they want. The cowardice that insinuates because people don't know how to do the right thing. Instead of just taking the money and doing the right thing, they take the money, do the wrong thing. And most times, doing the wrong thing is what gets people paid. And if they try to go and do the right thing, then that's what gets people fired, gets people lost in their jobs. Because then it's the fear that will be conducted upon them by doing the right things in front of other government agents. And then the other government agencies erroneously believe in that authority of having the authority figure over other human beings. And so they want to shit can you or otherwise get rid of you. It's also based on that of a violent enforcer in nature. For the father, the dark occultists, and the mother, the banksters, and all of this New World Order garbage that the thing itself promotes is death, destruction, and chaos over any kind of true order at all. Ultimately, Jesus was a dissident. Jesus was an opponent of the established religious priest class during his lifetime. He taught spirituality, which was in direct opposition to the worldview of the Pharisees and the Sadducees, and the most powerful Judaic religious sects of his time. So let's look at how Jesus was a dissident against these three institutional bodies of religion, money, and government. Jesus was an opponent of the established religious priest class during his lifetime. He taught spirituality, which was in direct opposition of the worldview. So most of the powerful Judaic religious sects of his time, when you read these stories, they didn't do it so politely either. He didn't do it so politely either. I mean, he was very vain against their sketchy morality. They were also concerned with their dogmatic law in the Judaic religious texts, but they weren't really treating people as free sovereign beings either. They were treating people more like property at that time as well. They were about control and not about morality, not about truth, and not about being grounded in any kind of objective for anything beyond being able to control human beings. They wanted nothing to do with moral behavior, all of that, which is why Jesus went up against them in the first place. And if you really read these stories, he wasn't soft-spoken about it at all. He was very loud and very angry about it. He said just how it was. He wasn't afraid to speak his mind and tell them exactly how it was. He was there to flip the tables on these people and say, no, this is not at all cool. Again, you don't have to accept the history on this account, but you should by now be able to accept the principles that he was teaching about that in these scriptures contained for man to understand, so that we can learn from the lessons that they were to be taught. Jesus spoke out against the monetary powers of his day. He even took physical action against them in the famous biblical story where he drove out the money changers, the equivalent of the monopolistic banking institutions of his time, out of the temple of Jerusalem. So Jesus spoke out against the monetary powers. This was the equivalent of the same thing as if we were to go to the monopolistic banking institutions of today. You could make it a comparison to them as well, that you could call it the Federal Reserve or any of the other central banking systems. We can see through the New Testament how these institutions of slavery in Jesus' time, the same institutions of slavery that exist today, colluded to have him murdered with the consent of the brainwashed population. Jesus' murder was actually performed by the police of his time, the Roman centurions. He wasn't afraid to take the switch out against these people because what they were doing was horrible and immoral and wrong. It was harming other people, other sentient beings, draining the people out of their hard-earned resources, their time, their energy, and whatever else that they could. It was also defrauding them both mentally and spiritually, as well as placing more value on money than it was to supposed to be about morality, be about the people, be grounded in any kind of truth whatsoever. So the love of money and the love of this greed instituted for the killing of this man. Jesus. He spoke out against the so-called authority of the Roman government, which was the most powerful government institution on earth in his time. Government was the institution which eventually convicted Jesus as an enemy of the state, and then ordered for his murder by crucifixion. Jesus spoke out against them, and eventually all of those people that were there when they stabbed him, it was that stabbing that led for the holy water to come out of his body, that led for their belief in Jesus. But that's what it took. That's what it took for their belief. Again, we can see through the allegorical story of the New Testament, we can see how the institutions of slavery in Jesus' time, the same ones that murdered Jesus of his day, would be the police of today. He often rendered off to Caesar which is Caesar's, saying to give back unto Caesar that is which is of Caesar's. People think that's so soft, but it's not. It's actually what he was saying and referring to. Like, it'd be the equivalent of everyone giving back the money to the government. Like, this is all yours. We don't want anything to do with this stuff. We're gonna just do things on this crypto-based, like, new kind of world of our own. Like, we don't want your crap. And that's basically what it is. It's crap. They gave us They instituted the power of a financial currency system that was meant to enslave us and drain us of our time, energy, all of our worth. It's just crap, and people think that that we're supposed to be all so soft-spoken about it and just go around like it's okay. I just don't agree. I think that we're supposed to just give them all of their whole unholy paper back, go tell them go fuck themselves and create our own. Value on a newspaper clippings would be more worthwhile in my eyes than what we're doing now. It's just the fact that what we've placed value into is what we've placed value into. And if you ask me, the things that people are placing value into these days are mightily worthless. Even in our day, it's like saying to the hell with government and giving back to the government anything that it wants to find value in. Let these idiots believe in their own shit. All it is just a shit show running over the people. So I'm out to show people that which is of God, of that natural law, meaning objective, cosmic, universal to morality, which is grounded in truth, grounded in scripture, the gospels, how they were actually written, how they were actually spoken, what was actually meant, and which was exactly what he was attempting to teach people in the first place. Unfortunately, with the power of the actual teachings, he wasn't actually just a religious teacher of this time. I don't think people care so much about the story being made up by human beings as if they're just trying to attempt to convey morality to individuals, hypothetically speaking, as if Jesus wasn't the deity, as if Jesus wasn't the Son of God. And it didn't really go to work out so well for us in life, did it? I don't think it has. Because we haven't been liberated from slavery yet. We're still slaves. We're still in the same human condition as we were back then. Same people, same conditions, same time, same era people are living in. Absolutely nothing is being changed. Absolutely nothing has been done. And in fact, it's just gotten much, much worse, which is why Jesus was setting up the great works here as far as that's concerned, because Jesus was telling us that we were going to go on to do greater things. Or have, not greater things, but have to deal with more than even him. In his day, like our day, we're going to have to even deal with more than he. And if you ask me, it's true. People stripping all of our whole lives away from us. And stuff like that. It's just beyond brainwashing to think how that could even be. How people could even move in that way. Or think that it's going to be okay. It's not going to be okay. Again, through an allegorical system in the New Testament, we'll see how Jesus was the same way. He was murdered by the Roman centurions of his time. I would even say that the institutions of his time of slavery that still exist today colluded to have him murdered. Consent and brainwash the population, like collusion, go around speaking shit. Jesus was murdered then and performed by the police of his time, in which colluded against him. He actually went around and spoke shit and it's just like, just go kill this motherfucker. I would say to the many Christians of our time, if you don't realize it was the police of that time that which murdered Jesus Christ, and you don't agree with me, you're mistaken in your thought process. And when you say and act like as it's not like having these snakes come out of today's day wrapped around your neck, as if it's not a huge horn coming out in that way, as if it's not one of the devil's damn horns coming out. I always wonder how people are tithing in their churches, knowing full well that Jesus spoke against these very institutional powers, being namely religion, money, and government, and then went on to murder, execute, and crucify the very deity that they're going there to celebrate. So it's just daunting to me. I don't understand it. It's very confusing. I mean, it was conducted by the police, and then they have police order followers right there at the gates of the churches, and the same people that were the deed of that time to go kill Jesus. I don't know. I just think that people aren't seeing the full picture there, as I'm not either. I just think there's more room to speak on that topic. A lot more room. How could people claim to be adherent of a Christian religion and not understand that allegory? I mean, how could people suddenly act so righteously as to get the facts so wrong that they actually protect the same institutions that condoned for the murder of their own Messiah? I think it's absolutely unfathomable to me to even not be able to be recognizing these Roman centurions of his day that were just like the police and military are today. They were given orders, they go and do them. They're ungodly acts and they're criminal, and people just get away with it because, oh, it's just the way things are. And I mean, if that were to take place today, the police of today were to order fire upon Jesus of today, are you're just gonna let it happen? You're just like, oh, I'll go look over there. We got games and talk shows and nighttime television. We got it all over here. Just don't look over there. Just don't look over there. And then that's just how it is too. They got everyone blacklisted. All these algorithms that only work to work for the rich. All these other stories don't get out there. All these other people's stories and all these other people things that they actually have going on, they don't get out there. Koala bears make the news, but you don't have a free press. You'd be pressing on for 15, 20 years your whole life. End up killed by the government, and no one gives one fuck. How could they do all this without questioning the motives of their masters at all? At all. It's sick and it's frightening, if you ask me. It's fucking wrong, it's sick, it's frightening. Like, who the fuck are these people? For real. And as for all of these so-called Christians that can't see this kind of truth, you're a joke. You're a flat-out fake-ass Christian, and you're a joke. I'll say it so these Christians out there that call themselves Christians, don't go think you're all high and mighty. Go pat yourselves on the back. You're a flat-out joke. You don't even understand that kind of allegory that's written right there inside of the Gospels. See the truth right in front of you and every Sunday. Yet you come to the teachings of Jesus Christ within the Bible on these things, and all of a sudden you're clowned. All of a sudden you think you are the authority of the earth, and you should have all the power over all of the little men, all of the little children, and be able to get away with all of your little old insanity. It's the same shit. Because you bought Romans 13 from the New Age Bible version, and that's a joke too. All those New Age Bible versions read Romans 13, and then go back into the old Gospels and read what it's actually saying. And it's also hidden right there within the book of the Bible, and people can't even make that distinction. So I find it quite sad. Why do you think that the book was called Romans? The Roman authorities are telling you it's okay to murder Jesus Christ, y'all. And these fake-ass Christians don't even fucking get it. These fake-ass Christians continue to go worship the idols of what Christianity is. That's all they're doing. They're going to worship idols. Jesus spoke on the body of Christ, the church being one body of Christ. The being who was trying to teach on the morality to this world was crucified by the centurions of the Roman Empire. That's all I'm trying to say. And that's a sad shame. It's a sad shame that these things carried out, and they're carried out today. Same kinds of times, same kinds of people, and within their own time, and people who've had enough of their fake-ass government, and fake-ass money, and fake-ass authority, and fake-ass religion that supports the same fake-ass masters with their fake-ass order-following system that would have had Jesus killed, and we're sick and tired of these fake-ass people that want to, as well, insinuate that same kind of shit into today and make it much, much, much worse. And that people back in his day would have said the same thing as we are saying today. Or the people of his day that went to kill Jesus would have said the same thing as the people would today. They're just doing their job. Just ordered, or I thought I grabbed the taser. I didn't mean to get all off base and kill a little 16-year-old kid or anything. I mean, it's just sad what the world has turned into. Through the allegorical story of the New Testament, we see how all of the institutions of slavery of Jesus' time, the same institutions that exist today, definitely then colluded with the murder of Jesus, which was the consent of the brainwashed population. Jesus' murder was actually performed by the police of his time, the Roman centurions. So way to go, humanity. Way to fucking go. Way to wake up. Way to wake up. 2024, we're already this far in life, and this is what we got. This is all we got, huh? This is what we get. This is all the further we can get before we allow these totalitarian regimes to come out and have the artificial intelligence bullshit be changed into the complete immoral beings that they'll be. Do people want to be people, or do they want their humanity to be stripped from them? It's just not okay to believe that we go to these institutions to believe in a Messiah that would have been, I mean, beyond rolling in the grave as just a man, not the Messiah, but just as a man himself. So anyway, the priests, banksters, the politicians, and the police of his time murdered Jesus Christ, and yet we still tithe with that same ill-gotten money that they're giving us to continue and perpetuate slavery. Yay, way to go. No wonder dogs are my favorite people, because they're not people. So in the next section that's coming up, I'm going to read on the real revolutionaries, the founding fathers, and the revolutionary colonists that were the true dissidents, because they rejected the rulership of the British monarchy and physically fought the henchmen of the British royalty for their freedom. They said, no more, we have been brutally oppressed, and this is psychopathic. We are not going to deal with this kind of mind-controlled, order-following behavior, who've traveled across the oceans at the decree of the psychopathic so-called king to take away their rights. Thanks for being here. Till the next one. Stay blessed. I hope you guys still stay safe as always. And I hope you pay attention to my next work. Thanks for being here.